It was in July of 2022 that Frank suffered a stroke, which resulted in him being placed under conservatorship and guardianship. After suffering a stroke, the court who is presiding over the conservatorship case of American Pickers star Frank Fritz has issued a significant decision about his request to have his health and financial documents placed under seal. The stroke that Frank, who was 60 years old at the time, experienced occurred in July of 2022, and he has been under conservatorship and guardianship since August of that same year, when guardian Chris Davis and conservator Midwest One Bank failed to complete an annual report that was due on November 12, 2023. A notice of delinquency for conservatorships was filed on December 1, 2023, according to a prior story from the United States Sun. It was requested on January 17 that the annual report be sealed by the conservator and guardian of the former American Pickers cast member. At this time, the United States Sun is able to divulge this information in an exclusive manner. A judge in Iowa has granted approval for the request, and the annual report and any papers relating to it are to be filed at Security Level 3. Guardian Chris asserted that an annual report for Frank's health and welfare has been finished in the joint motion to file under seal that was previously received by the United States Sun. The annual report on Frank's real property and monetary assets has been completed, the conservator Midwest One Bank stated. To preserve the protected person's privacy and estate, the court documents note that the guardian, conservator, and Frank all jointly request that the court allow the annual reports to be filed under seal. This is due to the fact that Frank is a well-known celebrity. Considering that one of the penalties for failing to file the annual report is that a report is made to the presiding judge, the 2023 annual report was submitted approximately 2 months after it was due. The person or persons who are liable to removal as fiduciaries, the Chief Judge of the Judicial District and the Administrator of the Judicial Branch, are both listening to a report that is being made. It is also being reported to the Committee on Professional Ethics and Conduct, which may lead to disciplinary action being taken against the individual. Second warning caution. The conservator and/or guardian has failed to submit the necessary papers by the deadline for the second time in a row on this occasion. Notice of delinquency for conservatorships was reportedly submitted on June 2, 2023, according to a previous article from the United States Sun. After the deadline of December 12, 2022, an inventory report was not submitted as it was required to be. In the latter part of that month, the report was submitted. Power. In August of 2022, the United States Sun was the publication that first reported the filing of the conservatorship petition. Because of his stroke, Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired that he is unable to care for his own safety or to provide for necessities such as food, shelter, clothing, or medical care, without which physical injury or illness may occur, were the words that were written in the records that were obtained by the United States Sun. It is impossible for Mr. Fritz to make, discuss, or carry out significant decisions on his own financial affairs, since his capacity for decision-making is so severely compromised. In the court documents, there was a reference to an exhibit that was provided by a physician, which purportedly confirmed that Frank does not possess the capacity to make decisions. Decisions must be made for Mr. Fritz's care and placement, while he continues to recover and receive treatment for his injuries, the legal documents added. While he continues to receive treatment from any potential harm that could occur in the near future, it is imperative that a guardian and conservator be appointed. As a result of the stroke, the petitioner requested that Frank's guardian be a different long-standing friend of his who has been providing him with assistance in making decisions. In addition to continuing his physical therapy, Frank has received assistance from the guardian with his treatment for Crohn's disease. The former American Pickers star has also received assistance from him in the areas of grocery shopping, cooking, and transportation to any activity that he is interested in participating in. Healthi. In a prior interview with the United States Sun, Frank's friend stated that Frank continues to improve daily. Today, Frank has shown signs of improvement. Although you will never be completely recovered from a stroke, he is doing well. Clearly, he is aware of what is taking place. If he were sitting here right now, you would be able to sit down and have a conversation with him. He is the same old Frank, she said. Because of the stroke, Frank was unable to go around without the assistance of a wheelchair, and he even had a ramp constructed inside his home in Iowa. He is able to walk, but he will still require the wheelchair because he is unable to walk for extended periods of time, the buddy added. To put it simply, you lose motor control. He was unable to move. The right side of his body was damaged by the stroke, which can happen to either the left or the right side of the body. The phrase private person describes Frank, who enjoys being completely out of the limelight. A buddy of Frank stated that the most common misunderstanding about him is over his health. The individual who provided the information stated, he has suffered a stroke, but he is not in any way incapacitated to the extent that he is unable to do anything or do whatever he desires. That does not provide any difficulties for him in any way. The only thing that changed was his way of life, and that caused him to move more slowly. We're dealing with the same old Frank. His disposition is positive, and he possesses a wonderful sense of humor. He has a constructive frame of mind. We are constantly making jokes as a group. You have to make the most of the circumstances in order for him to reach a point where he is comfortable with everything. It is true that he is a joyful person, that he has a good sense of humor, and that his thought is correct, since the conservatorship is considered to be temporary. A will of ranking. A will prior to death was reportedly submitted by Frank's attorney on October 11, 2023, according to a previous article from the United States Sun. In accordance with the Iowa courts, the filing was submitted in order to safekeep the will of the American Pickers star. The will received approval from a judge in Iowa after being examined. Based on estimates, Frank's net worth is approximately $6 million. Frank still missing. The most recent time Frank appeared on American Pickers was in an episode that aired in March of 2020. Frank is unable to return to the show more than a year after suffering the stroke, according to a prior story from the United States Sun news outlet. The stroke affected his speech, so he really can't return to the show, a source close to Frank had told the United States Sun. But you never know, there is always hope that one day will come, she said. He can't come back and film, but the cast and show want him to, is what a second insider informed the United States Sun. In addition to Mike Wolfe and his brother Robbie, the show also features Danielle Colby and John Jersey John Chalet as cast members. According to him,